Hello, everybody. I'm coming on early today because we are going to have some storms here in a little bit. And I thought, well, let's get on and do the live. And then hopefully we'll be finished by the time the storms roll through. So that's what I'm hoping for anyway. So hello, if you're here. Hi, how are you today? I am going to make binding for the 3-yard quilts that we're working on this week. I'm going to turn the camera so you can see what I'm working on. Give you a little more room there. What I've got is fabric that goes along with what I'm put in my 3-yard quilt. Excuse me. And I've got it folded. It's already been ironed at least once, maybe twice. So let's do this. And I'm going to take a big old whack down here at this end and take off the selvage edge of this fabric. Can you hear the thunder? It is already starting. I should have probably done this early in the morning, but I wasn't up to it yet. Where did I put my garbage can? Okay, so what I've got is for the 3-yard quilt, it needs to be 48 plus 48 and 58 plus 58. I already added that up, and doing with the fabric strips, I need 6 strips. So I'm going to cut 2.5-inch wide binding. Sorry to Donna Robertson, but I can't do that 1.25-inch binding that she does. So here we go. I love this fabric, don't you guys? I thought with the other fabrics that I was putting in my quilt that this would just go so well. Little brother Martelli, what are you doing today? Okay, so there's 1, 2. Making sure you guys can see what I'm doing. Two. 3. I feel like the owl in the Tootsie Roll commercial. How many licks does it take to get to the center of the Tootsie Roll? 1, 2, 3. And then he crunches into it. I always thought, well, why did you do that? One, 2.5. There we go. Well, hello, Francis. How are you today? Whoops, I think I need 6 though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, I do need 6. Sneaking in for a bit while you're at work. Just don't get caught. I don't want you to get in trouble. That would not be good. But how are you today, honey? Sure we die. So I'm going to make binding because I need some for the 3-yard quilt that I'm working on. And I thought, well, let me do this. Oh, I did cut out doubles. Bad on me. Well, I need 6 of this. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll just have extra, won't I? So besides being at work, which is never any fun, how are you today? I don't know if the thunder is coming through, but it's getting ready to storm here. And I'm just like, no, I don't want storm. We need the rain. Just when it storms, everything goes out. Internet, electricity. I can tell. That's okay. I'll go ahead and make it all up into binding. And then I'll have some left over for the next quilt I got to do. It's always my least favorite part anyway, is making binding. Okay, so I think you can see that. I'm gonna move the camera at least a little bit closer to my sewing machine. So the way I make binding, I think the way everybody makes binding is I make an L with my fabric here. I'm gonna make sure that I am on a 1. I want a longer stitch length than that, about a 2.5. And then I'm just gonna put it through here and sew my little corners. Do you quilt, Francis? The reason I laid it all out before I started was so that I could just basically chain stitch all this binding together. All my little pieces. And then you just sew from corner to corner. I cut off my selvage before I cut the binding up. So that's all done. But I want to put that down. Let's see if I can. Oh, yeah. I think we're always praying for rain. It gets really dry down here in Florida from about January through end of April, beginning of May. We almost get no rain. So everything is super high fire danger. And then starting in 1st of June, when hurricane season starts, it starts storming every day in the afternoon. So yeah, I like that. I need to shift my live time to earlier in the day, actually, is probably what I should do. Then I don't have to worry about the storms beating us up. But yeah, I usually, like if I get stripy fabric in, I'll just sit down and cut it up and go ahead and make binding out of the whole thing. I love stripes for bindings, and they almost never go into a quilt right. Either they end up turned all different directions, or you have to fuss with them the entire time to get them to go where you want, right? And I was doing that long before I ever saw Jenny Down do it. She loves stripy bindings too. I think that's my 6 right there. And that's all I need for the first quilt. So I'm just cutting the little stitches between the strips apart. Well, if I can see them. Am I the only one who has that issue at this point? Well, hello, Cindy. How are you? Lake Mead in Southern Nevada. Now, do you guys have the same problem? Kelly at Kelly's Cruise said that they have issues when the snow starts melting with flooding. Do you have that same problem up there? And then let's see, can you see what I'm doing? No, you can't. I have brought my binding over here to my cutting mat. And what I'm doing now is I'm just going in and cutting off a 1/4 inch outside of the seam on each of these, just to cut off that little bit extra, so I can then iron my binding. Oh, I don't have a long arm either, Francis. It's on the wishy list, but probably not going to happen anytime soon. We don't really have a place for me to put it. So maybe it's on the fantasy list instead of just the wish list. I'd have to rebuild the entire house around it. And there we go. All right, so that's all of that. I will be keeping the little half square triangles. Hello, Ying. How are you? Mrs. Donna. Why am I wanting to sing the banana song today? Donna, Donna, Bobana. Since you pre-made your binding, I'm going to go ahead and pre-make mine. See my pretty fabric though? Make sure it shows up there for you. Thought I'd go ahead and get that started anyway. And then let's see, I need to move that needs to close so I don't end up cutting myself like I've seen a couple of people do on lives. And slide you back. Yep. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just folding over my binding, and I am going to just go down through here, fold it in half and iron it. And actually, if I had been smart, I would have brought my piece of pull noodle in here that I have on a spinner, and then I could have just wrapped it around the pull noodle and not even had to iron it. I learned that from a viewer, I think from Sandra Kay. And she uses that method and it works out really well. Yeah, I think I'm just going to have to embrace that too, Francis, is just go ahead and FMQ on my smaller machine. I do have a Grace Cutie frame, but I like my Juki so much for piecing that I'm hating to take my Juki and stick it on that frame, because then I can't use it for piecing. Although I did see somebody, Colleen, was it Heather at Hot Mess Quilting? Is that her first name? I know you know. One of the girls, the girl at Hot Mess Quilting, whose name I haven't ingrained in my brain yet, and I should have, has her Baby Lock Jazz on her cutie frame. And that works really well for her. So I thought maybe I'll do that with mine. But the Jazz does so much more than just straight stitching, unlike the Juki. So I'm torn. I'm a Baby Lock girl, just like Donna is. We both like our Baby Lock machines. Hi, Karen. How are you today? Trying to make sure I say hello as you guys come in. Anyway, just getting it all ironed up so that it's ready to go when we get to that stage. And I knew I wanted to use this for the binding on the quilt that had that other fabric in it. Let's see if I can grab that fabric and show you. This is my fabric. Trying to get it to focus for you. This is my main fabric for my 3-yard quilt. And then these are the fabrics that I'm using for the half square triangles in it. And I really think that this sewing fabric will go really well with it. Hello, Courtney. How are you today? I haven't seen you in a minute. Last I knew you were going camping. Are you back now? And I think Courtney's doing a live tonight. Is that right? Doing a live to finish quilt. Hey, Kathleen. Aw, I'm just making binding today. Trying to get ahead of my project list. Goes. Yep, Nightbot's on. I'm preferring it. I like it. Because then all the links are in there easily. I think next time I'm just going to go ahead and grab it. Is it your anniversary today? I know you were celebrating it over the weekend. So happy anniversary. I think you're at 9 years, right, Courtney? I know I saw it, but might have escaped my brain this weekend. Almost done with this. Then I can fold it up and clip it and put it away. I was talking about the bins of fabric that I have, and Amy C was like, "Oh, you should do bin quilting," and I thought, I really should. But what I got to do before that, got to start quilting all the quilt tops that I have. So, would you guys like to see that on a live, or is it better if you do it like as a pre-record with a fast forward so you don't have to watch me sit there and go, what do I want to do now? So I'm thinking a pre-record gives you the chance to skip through it, but I like watching free motion quilting. I watch Tiffany and Tucker does it. So does Hotline quilting. I'm kind of like, yeah, that is neat. And I guess by the time I got done with 30 quilts, I would definitely be better at quilting, right? And then all I'm going to do is I'm just going to roll mine up here gently. I'm not trying to put folds in it, just trying to roll it up so that I can put it on my design board. That way everything's in one spot. It's all ready to go when I get to that point. I don't want it in long pieces because it'll just flop everywhere on me. Boy, the rain's coming down. Mufasa can unlock the gate. Her dog can unlock her gate. I never found a solution for that except for like tying the gate shut, something that you need opposable thumbs to do. Yeah, mine went out over the weekend. My blocks did. We had a Rottweiler who could escape anything. But he was a big boy too. I think Mufasa's as big as he was. Blake was 150 pounds of pure mischief. He was the sweetest dog you ever saw, but he could get into anything. He'd go chase the squirrels in the yard, and I swear he laughed about it. The one time he caught one, he was so shocked. He was like, "What?" He's looking at me like, "Now what do I do with this?" Almost done wrapping this up. So I did 2.5 inch strips for my binding, and I've got several more strips, but this is enough to do the 3-yard quilt with probably plenty left over here. And I'll put those other pieces together unless somebody needs me to show them how to do the L on the binding, but I think most of you probably already know how to do this. So what I'll do is I'll save the rest of that for a pre-recorded video that I can put up. A small chain at the top will stop it, do you think? That would be nice if that would keep him from getting out. All right, I'm gonna move the camera. So here's my hand. You can look at the palm of my hand for a minute. There we go. I'm trying to use the other camera today because one of my cameras, Zoom doesn't seem to like. It keeps dropping the signal on it. There we are. Yeah, isn't that fabric pretty? I picked that because, well, it all came in one of those 4-yard bundles from So Yeah, but it goes so well. I mean, it all went together, and it's all sewing fabric. So I thought that would be cute. And I have another in my pile of quilt tops that need to be done. I have a quilt that's thread bobbins. So I'm thinking I'm going to use the rest of it for binding on that whenever I get ready to put that one together. But yeah, the bins, I want to go through the bins and start pulling out fabric and maybe pre-making some binding for it, because I have all my little painted dolls floating around here. I had one sitting over here before I went live. Of course, it disappeared. So these were bought and painted specifically so that I could use them to hold binding, like for long term. So I think I'm going to start getting some fabric out, making binding out of it. I know I have at least one stripe in those bins, and I want to make some binding out of that for sure. Yeah, I love the blocks. Everybody that I've seen make blocks has done cute, gorgeous fabric. Can he jump the gate, Courtney, or can he just open it? Well, hello, Stir. How are you today? Hey, Patty, I'm great. How are you? Miss Ellen, I am so happy to see you. The last time I saw you, you were talking about going to the hospital. Are you better now? I hope, please. Yes, I hope she's better. He jumps to open it. Hey, Lori. Lori's binding her horse quilt this afternoon, or that's what she told me she was going to do in her live. Lunch break. Anything good, Patty? No icky peanut butter sandwiches, something good like tuna or Chinese food or okay, no problem, Colleen. That's great. I hadn't done it because had my hands full. Yeah, I think we're all praying for you, Ellen. I hope you get better quickly. You're getting better. Your sugar levels keep falling too low. Is that because of the sinus infection or? But that's a good problem. That means you can eat sugar, right? At least a little bit. Have a treat here and there. Just a little one. Oh, I know what else I wanted to show you guys today. I actually have two things. I want to make one before I do it on camera. But I got this pattern from an email from, I don't see Marla here, but she sent me this pattern in it. And I have it, but I haven't drawn it out yet. And it requires, well, hello, Deborah. It requires felt and interfacing for the snail anyway. So I want to dig through my felt stash and see what I've got. Hi, Sylvia. Colleen does yell duck sometimes. So I want to try to make that. And you guys know I love pin cushions. So I'm really glad that Marla sent that to me. And there's even an instruction in here. See the little flowers? There's even instructions in here for how to make these little flowers. And theirs look like they have pearls or something or beads in them. I think I might make mine with buttons. What do you think? But I think that's going to be super cute. And it's a scrap project. It says, well, it's less than 6 inches. So it'll be cute and it will fit on a shelf. And I have pin cushions everywhere, so another one won't hurt anything. Yeah, she does usually yell duck. And then Wayne went Dollar Tree last weekend again. And this he brought home for me. Does anybody ever use these on your cutting mats? What they are is they're those pink erasers like you get in school. Isn't it cute, Karen? Sylvia, if you like the snail, I will definitely share the pattern with you. But you take these little pink erasers and you use them on your cutting mats, on the self-healing ones, and it helps take off any thread or must that's ingrained into your mat, and it fills in the hole. It does pretty similar thing to soaking your mat, except this gets the grunge out before you put your mat in to soak. So I brought that in so I could put it away today, but I thought I would show it to you guys beforehand. And my mat doesn't need to be cleaned right now, but it will need to be soon. Oh, Patty, I will have to do a video on my button collection. You know those popcorn tins? I have one of those that's about 3/4 full. And then I have, not within reach here, 2 or 3 of those decaf coffee jars up with buttons. My grandmother and my mom both collected buttons. I probably yeah. Exactly. Oh, Stir. I'm so sorry you had to have a knee replacement. But I hope he's recovering well. And prayers that you don't kill each other before he's all healed. Sorry. My husband is like the absolute best caretaker in the world. I could not ask for anything else. I stink. compared to him. He is so good. 25 full of buttons in 25 full mason jars. The thing about having that many buttons, though, is that you don't know what you have. So, like when I make my husband shirts, there's plenty of shirt buttons in there, like, because I think my grandmother cut buttons off of every shirt ever that she ever saw. But then you go in there and you start digging and you find cute stuff. It's like, I found some with little anchors on them. Um, and I really want to make a quilt with a lot of buttons on it, but I know that it would be super attractive to at least one of the 20 grandbabies, and they would want to take it home, and I would be scared to death one of them would choke on the buttons. So what I may have to do is make me a wall hanging and dig through and find the ones that are really cute and just hang it up in my non-existent space in my sewing studio. Yeah, Sylvia, a tin of buttons wouldn't be so bad, but a popcorn tin is probably, if you've got cookie tins, like the small round cookie tins, this is probably 6 of them stacked up. Does that make sense? Severe weather alert just came in from the county. We usually get that. Hello, Mary. How are you? Yeah, Sylvia, I love the buttons. I like collecting. I mean, I'm gonna even throw away my mom's thread. Maybe that's what I should use mom's thread on, is sewing all the buttons on a wall hanging of some kind. But yeah, that would definitely be something to keep. The mall. Does he know what he has? I mean, does he like buy and sell buttons, or does he just collect buttons to collect buttons? That's a cool idea. That's definitely a cool idea. Now, I announced this, I think, in a chat last week. I don't even remember for sure, but I have a grandbaby, brand new grandbaby. She was born on Friday. Um, Mom and baby are doing fine, or excuse me, on Thursday. Mom and baby are doing fine. If I'm right, mom should be home already. And it was her second C-section, so she's bummed about that. But my new grandbaby weighs 10 pounds. So I was like, you probably should be happy that you had a C-section. Fallon is beautiful. We haven't been to see her yet because they live in Miami and we're up here, halfway across the state. But we're hoping to get to do that pretty quickly here and do some major celebrations. And now I can start making her quilt now that I know her name. I was going to make one before she was born, but it just didn't feel right. So now that I know her name, I know what I got to do. Old, new, interesting. Wow. Hey, Steph, sassy Steph. Yeah, Lori, 10-pound baby, the newborn clothes out the window. My daughter was talking to me and she said, well, I had all these newborn clothes and newborn diapers by the bed, but I guess I'm gonna have to change all that out when I get home. And I said, there's a good job for daddy while you're in the hospital. Hey, Kim. Oh, oh, Mary, you never know what you'll find. Some of the stuff Lori has pulled out of her bins is really cool. Um, she had a sunbonnet suit she was showing this morning on her channel. I think maybe she made it, or maybe she made it for her grandmother. It was really pretty. Mod Squad. Yay. The Queen of Troll Hunters is here. My sassy Steph and my Colleen and Courtney. Yeah. But anyway, so I'm excited. And she's technically my stepdaughter. I don't want her mom thinking that I'm trying to claim her daughter from her. But as far as I'm concerned, they're my daughters, and as far as my husband's concerned, my sons are his too. So we don't do steps and halves in my family. If we did, I'd never get everybody straight. My mom was one of 17 kids between her two parents, and then they had step brothers and sisters and step cousins, and they're all just family. I don't even have time to keep track of all the crazy. It's just everybody's family, and that's that. We'll just go on. I'm looking for Miss Marie to come in. 5% charge. Colleen, bonus daughters. Yes. Well, see, Lori, the thing is, when I first, got married and had kids, I wanted six, and I wanted girls, of course, because you can dress up little girls in frilly clothes and stuff. Well, when I had my second son, he had problems and I had problems, and both of us almost didn't make it. So they told me no more kids. And then, go forward a few years, and um, my first husband and I divorced. When I met Wayne, I didn't realize it when we first met, but by the time we were living together and everything, I found out he had four daughters, and I was like, well, there's my six kids. And the other thing I wanted growing up was a house with a white picket fence. So right after we bought this house, I ended up in the hospital with a bad kidney stone. While I was in the hospital, he had a white picket fence put up. So I've got my white picket fence and I've got my six kids. I'm happy. That works for me. Exactly, Colleen. They're yours. They're all yours. And it never hurts anybody to have more people loving them rather than less. That's my thing. Bonus daughter. Yep, you better plug it in, Colleen. Yeah, Patty, I have a few of those too. I have a couple of relatives related by marriage. Yeah, it is amazing how it worked out. I think I'll keep him, Sylvia. He's kind of all right. Cheese and crackers, good for you, Colleen. Miss Colleen's had tummy trouble the last couple days, so I'm glad she found something that she could eat. Kim, I actually probably do have acquaintances related by blood. My mom was one of 17. Almost all of those brothers and sisters had two or three kids, and those kids are all grown by now. So a lot of them have children and grandchildren. And I try to keep up on Facebook. We have this couple of big family groups that we can all post in, but it's almost impossible to keep track. One of them, yeah, a few days ago, I got pictures of her in her prom dress. And I'm going, I remember when this one was born. Wait a minute, what is she doing in a prom dress? She's not old enough. She's 18. I was like, wow, now I feel really old. And she's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. Brianna, if you're watching, absolutely gorgeous. But I was just totally shocked to see her in a prom gown. Yeah. Amy. Oh, I'm so sorry. I hate having to reschedule big tests because you have to usually prep for them. And I don't know what's involved in a PET scan, but if you had to do bathroom prep beforehand, I double feel sorry for you. I had to do that for a couple of tests last year before they did my surgery on my tummy. Ugh. And you don't recover from getting ready for those icky tests like that, like colonoscopies and stuff. The prep is almost as bad as the test, and then it takes a couple days for you to get back on an even kilter again. At least it does for me. Tracy, I'm glad you got a nap. That's a good thing. I made some binding, got that all ready to go. It's all wrapped up and pretty and waiting for me. I'm probably going to make some more binding this afternoon. Yes, the glucose pill does help. I used to keep those little tubes of icing in my purse. My youngest son is type 1, and when his blood sugar dropped, he was mean. I'd be like, "Here, have an Oreo or have a little tube of frosting," because those were cheaper than buying those glucose tubes. He looked at me one time, "You just want me to shut up." And I was like, "Well, yeah, I really would like it." Because he was mean. Hey, Teresa. Yeah, he would get mean when his blood sugar was low. And then the other thing he would do is he would get crazy, like bunny hopping through the house and stuff. And I was just like, okay, you go ahead and do what you got to do, baby. But he had a buddy in high school who looked out for him a whole lot. Hi, Heather. Is that Heather from Hot Mess? Oh, Amy. Oh, okay. Finish your rag quilt, Mary. I'm gonna drink some more agua here. We had a power outage. No problem, Teresa. I appreciate you coming by. My brain just went, oh, we had a power outage at 4 o'clock this morning. We woke up and it's like there's no rain, there's no thunder, there's no nothing. Everything's fine, but the power's out. And that usually means that someone's hit a power pole, which is never a good thing because that usually means a fatality. So we called in to report it because there's like 6 houses on our street and probably not everybody was awake. It woke us up because I sleep with a CPAP. And as soon as it went off, I woke up and I was like, oh, well, time for me to get up for a bit. So we had power trucks out here wandering through the field to, 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. And I went back to bed after they got the power back on. They did a great job. They did it fast. And thankfully, it turned out that it was just a fuse that had blown somewhere. It wasn't somebody hit a power pole. So I was really happy to hear that because that's always the scary thing. Who did we lose this time? Yes, definitely eat before it gets bad, Colleen. Oh, Deborah, I can definitely sympathize with you. I had to go through and clean mine last week just to be able to work on the next thing that was on my list. Oh, Amy, I understand. You want to see my nails? I put a new color on. I got this one. It's supposed to be peach or orange, but it, I don't know. Kind of looks peachy on camera, I think. So, but it's cute. I like the blue better. Hey, Marla, I was showing the snail pattern you sent me. I really like it. I want to make it, but I need to make it off camera before I try it on camera. Just because I like the little flowers and stuff. Yeah, it's supposed to be more orange, Sylvia, but it does look peach on camera. And I did a cruddy job of painting them. I just kind of slapped paint on. Yeah. Oh, that Heather. Hello, Heather. Okay. I like hot mess sewing too, but Heather is funny. You guys, if you haven't seen Heather H at Talk to Heather, you need to check her out. And she is a blast. Go watch her with Beth at Goody Goods. Heather is so fun. She sings and she just about dances. And then she has her lap dog. Colleen, have you got that troll, darling? Yep. Happy anniversary to Courtney. Heather actually got on camera last week with her hair down, and that girl has the longest hair I think I've seen on anybody since Crystal Gale. Thank you, Lori. I appreciate it. Mm. Yeah, Kim has a crown for a reason. Fastest troll hunter in the West. Yeah, Colleen, they are a trip, aren't they? I always have fun when I go over there. I like it when Beth's on, but Heather just is the frosting on the cake. First night I went in and Heather was in there, we laughed. I laughed so hard, I've stayed up way too late. Hello, Stony. I don't think I've seen you here before. Welcome to the chat. The undisputed queen of troll hunters. Yep, she definitely is. She's got it. She got it. She got it. Happy to be the frosting. And then what is your dog's name, Heather? It's Gemma. She's got one of those humongous dogs that thinks it's a lap puppy too. He was climbing in her lap the other night. I was looking at it going, boy, that dog's got a big head. And then when she stepped away from the camera to show us something, the dog's as big as she is. If it stood on its hind legs, it's probably taller. Have a great day, Heather. I appreciate you stopping by. And I love your dog. You're not allergic to cats, but Colleen is. Yeah, that's not good. She thinks she's a lap puppy, Heather, but she's gorgeous. I mean, she's absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, well, most big dogs don't know their own size anyway. They just know that they love mommy and they want hugs and pets. Yeah, I'm definitely praying for you too, Amy. I actually like candles mostly, but I'll just say I'm praying for you and you'll know that I'm doing what I do for you. She is a gorgeous dog. Yeah, it's always a rough day when you anticipate something and then it doesn't happen, especially if you have to go sit and wait. Definitely, definitely. Well, that light sitting up there does nothing for my complexion, does it? Makes me look like I'm even paler than I am. I was just trying to get some light over here in this corner because it's hard to see without the light. Because the light from behind me doesn't come down in there. And I wanted you guys to be able to see what I was doing. Definitely, Amy. I believe, I just don't express it the same way everybody else does. Comes from being raised in one of those Southern Baptist fire and brimstone churches. There you go. You're twins, but nobody knows but the two of you. That's a good thing. Okay, guys. So I came on a little bit early and I'm going to say bye a little bit early because I just got another warning and it's telling me that the storm is supposed to get even worse than it already is. And so I'd rather say bye now instead of have it knock the entire satellite out and you guys sit there and wonder if I'm okay. So I'm going to give you guys a couple minutes to say bye to each other. And then I'm going to get us out of here. They're not expecting tornadoes or anything. They're just saying that the storm is going to get worse. Yeah, there better be a pony in there somewhere, Kim. Actually, there was. Lori had one on her live earlier. I'm hoping that you find that pattern so I can find it. Thank you, Tracy. I appreciate that. Oh, yeah, we're snug in the house. I mean, if it gets really bad, we'll leave, but This doesn't seem like it's gonna get that crazy, just gonna be a bad thunder boomer. We may lose power, but that'll be about it. I hope, knock on wood. All right, guys, you all have a great day. Thank you for coming by. I hope that you will like, share, subscribe, do whatever, and have a great day. And I will see you at somebody else's live, I'm sure. Bye, guys.